Hello, I'm at GufForTheHouse.com, and I'm here with Jason Henderson from Burton Snowboard. Jason, how you doing?
Not too bad. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Doing good. Jason is walking us through the 2019 line. He's back again. I think it was, like 7 years in a row. It's good to have you back, man.
It's good to be here, man.
This guy knows probably more about Burton stuff than anyone else that I know. And he's going to kind of walk us through the 2019 boot line. There's a lot out here. We got an Invader, a Moto, a Ruler Boa. We have an Imperial. We have a Swath, brand new to the line, Driver X, the Ion, and then, of course, the Ion Leather, and this is actually the Tourist.
Yep.
Cool. So what should people come to know about the series and collection of boots for 2019?
Well, we're looking at the men's boot line. You know, basically what you get as you go up in price, you know, you're going to get something that's going to fit better, last longer.
Right.
You know, different flexes of boots too, you know, depending on what style of riding you like, that you're doing or what you really like in a boot. You know,
Right.
you know, kind of shot some other videos where it's like, you know, these are kind of part boots, but, you know, like sort of things, but it really just, it all comes down to what you like and what you're comfortable with, you know. You know, some people like a soft boot for, you know, freestyle and tweaking and stuff like that, or but some people like a stiff boot too for big jumps, pipe, which is, you know, well, both of those things are park, but it's all really what you like.
That's right.
You know, free riding, you like, you know, some people like a stiffer boot because it cuts through a lot of the chop and chunder and things like that. Where, but you know, some guys that are lucky enough to ride POW most of their day, you know, most of their time on snow, they like something soft and surfy. So it's really just personal preference. So yeah, just, you know, what you get as you go up in price, you know, like you got our base model, the Invader, so still heat moldable, still 1-to-1 lasting, which means we make a separate shell size for every hole and half size. You know, shorter overall footprint, you know, custom fit, but, you know, pretty soft. You know, beginner and intermediate might like this boot. Just you know, not breaking the bank, but something nice and soft. That's that's gonna be more forgiving, make the board easier to ride. You know, that sort of thing. You're not feeling, you know, just super locked down to the board. So
yeah, and it's kind of cool too. Like even starting out at the Invader, working our way up into the Ion Leather, and even, you know, of course SLX they're all heat moldable liners.
Yep. So they will mold with your body heat eventually, but if you want to take some of the break-in process out of it. You know, take them to the shop, have them mold them for you, heat them up. That'll definitely help. It won't completely break them in, but it will, you know, take some of the break-in process out.
Cool.
So, yeah, then going up from there. So, you know, real similar customer here, but a little bit better lacing option. So a little nicer liner than Imprint 1 Plus, but the Moto, you can get it in the Boa, which is the coiler, so you can just let it kind of do the reeling in for you, and you're good to go. So still comes in our Speedzone option as well for about $30 less. But the Boa is super easy. You know, it's just kind of let it do its thing and twist
number
it
one
and
selling
go.
boot.
Yeah, number one selling boot. So one thing that's different whenever you see Boa in our line is we don't use any steel cables. It's all our New England ropes.
Why is that?
It just works better with the flex of the boot. It has a more natural like flex to it. You know, with the steel, there's just no give, which it can actually change the flex of the boot and the way it rides. But it's also really just hard on the rest of the boot. You have to have these little separators, you know, and things like that keep the cables away from each other. And then, you know, you have that on top of your foot. And you know, we just found that New England ropes are, you know, as durable, as strong. They just work a lot better.
Cool. And then kind of next up is one of the great boots within the line. This is the Ruler. It comes in a double Boa, a Speedzone, a leather, and a wide option. There's 4 different Ruler boots that all are on the same platform.
Yep. So obviously we don't have a wide enough camera angle or
or a big enough table.
But Ruler, kind of an iconic boot in our line. It's been in the line for years. It's a great kind of middle of the road, good, you know, good supportive boot that doesn't break the bank. But you go to Imprint 2 liners, so you get a more intricate like lacing system on the inside of the boot. Gives you better heel hold. You go to our EST shell or sole. What that is, it's a flat sole. It also has rubber integrated in it, so just in the high wear and high traction zones. So and also anytime we're using rubber, we're using 50% reground rubber. Just you know, part of our sustainability efforts there. But then new for this year is double Boa. So you got the lower zone and the upper zone, so you just get a much more kind of focused fit there, so it just fits nice and snug. You know, you don't have, you know, two different points, you know, top and bottom. It might pinch you here, might not be tight enough up here, or, you know, through the middle of your foot. It just gives you kind of that, almost like a snake bite. On your foot.
Yeah. But I really enjoy the Ruler. It's probably the most versatile boot, in my opinion, across the line, because a beginner to an advanced rider can ride on it. You can take it in the park, and you can take it free riding. And again, it has like four different kind of options: leather, wide, Speedzone, and double boa. It's awesome.
So the guys with wider feet, you know, you can you got the Ruler as an option.
Cool. And then moving up into the Imperial. Now, this is kind of a little more of a back or side country style boot with Vibram outsole.
Yeah, kind of a little brother to the Ion. So you can, I mean, it works great everywhere. It does, like you said, does have the Vibram Eco Step outsole. You know, really, you know, bigger lugs on it, still with some really good board feel. So if you are hiking in the back country, that sort of thing, it's gonna definitely give you a lot of traction. You know, or if you're hiking, you know, it works. It's kind of a medium stiff boot, so it works great everywhere. So,
and now, is this moving into an imprint 3-liner?
So you go into imprint 3-liners here. So different material on the inside. It's got a dry ride heat cycle in the heel area and the toe box. So what that does is it gives you, it kind of equalizes your body temperature. It kind of keeps it in that sweet spot. It kind of pulls the heat away from your foot when you're riding, and then when you're going up to lift, you know, your activity levels are lower, and you know your foot starts to cool down. It kind of, you know, gives the heat back. It just kind of stabilizes things in there. Better footbed too. Better cuff on the inside that just really hugs the overall liner, and with the capabilities of adding J-bars between the liner and the shell. If you have a really narrow ankle, you can really lock down that heel if you need to. So, and dual zone, Speedzone. You know, Speedzone's our proprietary speed lacing system that we came up with years ago. But you know, again, just super simple. Just yank them. You got an upper and a lower zone. Works great.
Yeah, easy to use. Super easy to use. Cool. And then this is actually kind of this is a new boot. Comes in two different lacing systems: Speedzone, then the double boa again. This is the Swath, which kind of is from the Almighty combined with
like the Concord or Ambush. So kind of, you know, taking you know, two boots and merging them. We had the Almighty the past couple of years. What that is, you know. The big thing about the Almighty is it brings to this ultra weave construction on the shell. So, you know, kind of like you see in like high-end running shoes, that sort of thing. It's this woven shell material. So what that does is it reduces, you know, the number of panels and stitching and things like that. So without sacrificing durability or anything. So it actually makes it fit, you know, a little snugger, you know, better support, just with less panels, and so it drops the weight of the boot quite a bit too. And this is actually pretty abrasion resistant. Like
the Almighties that I have from 3 seasons ago still look actually really, really good. And I'm riding chairs. I'm riding 4 days a week. You know, they hold up well. Yeah,
I mean, and you know, if you make a conscious effort not to just set the, you know, super sharp edges on your on there, you know, your boots will last longer. So. But you go to this, you got our Dynagrip outsole, so it's got that Dynalite material, that rubberized EVA in most of it, but then just reground rubber in the high traction and high wear zones. So
super lightweight.
Super lightweight.
Articulation.
Articulated cuff too, so the top, you know, part is separate from the bottom, so it just allows for a nice, you know, super smooth forward flex on it.
Cool. So. Then one crazy bad boy right here, the Driver X.
Yeah, Driver X. So. Driver X is a pretty unique boot. It's really stiff. A little taller in the liner. You know, the 3X liner. It's got an extra panel on the outside of the liner that, you know, keeps the stiffness, lateral stiffness of the boot. The cuff on the inside has got thermal moldable plastic between the liner and the shell to add stiffness, but it also molds to the shape of your foot. It's got the Vibram Eco Step outsole. This one is a ramp sole, so it is a
little bit of a drop.
A little bit of a kind of like a running shoe or something like that. So, but really stiff backstay in there too. So just, you know, this boot is really, really stiff. So if you like if you ride ride a big boy board and you want something really stiff, the driver axis. Yeah. Very popular in Europe. You know, the Euros.
The Euros like that one?
The Euros are typically like really stiff boots. So.
Yeah. Then we have a kind of a backcountry boot. This is a skinning split board boot called the Tourist.
Yep. Kind of a backcountry skin boot. So pretty cool. It's got our higher end lifeliner, which is, you know, fully heat moldable. But the reason why we put that in this boot is it's actually perforated as well. So you know, when you're, especially when you're hiking, you know, you're sweating and you want to be able to try to get rid of, you know, as much of that moisture as possible. You've even got, you know, some vents on the toe. It does have on the sole here. It does have the little cleat back here for crampons.
Okay.
So if you're, you know, way back there doing that sort of stuff, it does have this flex panel back here. So when you're hiking, you can, you know, pop the top zone, and you know, it really allows you for ascenting. You know, you can be a little bit more straight up and down.
Right.
And then also, I guess you can kind of choose. You know, it does come with Speedzone, which a lot of people like, but it does have they're called gillies or whatever, but it's basically lace loops on the inside here, so you can actually turn this into a traditional lace if you want. So I know some people, you know, if they're way back there, you know, and they have problems with a speed lace system, they don't want to be stuck. Right. Which, you know, Speedzone's not that bad. You can typically tie it off to the next, you know, to the next loop and be good. But some people just like that traditional lace, and you have that option of doing that with this boot. Right.
So. Cool. And then kind of lastly, from the boots that we carry, this is the Ion Leather. This is a high-end boot. Again, the only other boot within the line right now is the Ruler that has leather in it. Good-looking boot. Team favorite, too.
Yeah. A lot of guys that ride this boot, you know, they wanted, you know, they like the ions, they like the support of it, but maybe it's just a hair stiff. So the full grain leather, definitely it's just slightly softer. Okay. But also leather brings a lot to the table too. It's like once it breaks in and once you get it, you know, right where you want it, it kind of levels off. You know, it's very durable. So that's kind of the benefits of leather. It's a, you know, touch heavier, but just that buttery, smooth flex of leather.
Right.
You know,
it looks good.
Looks good. Looks good. Good quality look to it. A little wider toe box than the regular Ion that's got the you know, the plastic toe box. But depending on, you know, the shape of your foot, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, you know, guys like Ben and Danny and Mark, you know, McMorris, like those guys, you know, they tend to gravitate towards the leather.
That one right there.
Yeah.
Well, it's a, you know, a fantastic looking line for any skill ability and any terrain choice. You know, all the way from the Invader, you know, all the way to that Ion. You know, there's lots of different lacing options too. There's Speedzone, boa, double boa, traditional lace. Yeah. And wide options too. There's the Photon and the Ruler both come in wide options for any wide-footed rider out there. You can ride multiple boots. Yep. Yeah. So. Awesome, man. Jayson, thanks so much for being here, man.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And of course, thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment or a question. Let us know what you think of the Burton lineup for 2019. Subscribe to the channel by hitting that button over there. Check out more videos there. And you can see all these boots by selecting the links below in the description. Thanks for watching. See you guys around. Peace.